50 illegal immigrants were arrested at a nightclub in Denver. Federal officials say some of them were drug traffickers and gang members. As ICE continues its crackdown, Texas Governor Greg Abbott is adding more troops to the border.
In a bold and meticulously coordinated operation, ICE agents swept into a major Texas train station just after dawn, instantly halting all departures and arrivals. Within hours, more than 1,700 undocumented migrants were in custody and transported for immediate processing and deportation. Executed with surgical precision, the raid now stands as one of the largest interior immigration crackdowns in U.S. history, catching nearly everyone off guard. Armored vehicles, K-9 units, and tactical officers formed a perimeter, sealing off every platform and exit. Eyewitnesses described the atmosphere as tense but orderly. No warning, no panic, just swift, quiet enforcement. According to federal sources, ICE had been tracking high-risk individuals for months using surveillance, biometric data, and intel coordination. By 4:30 a.m., agents were in place, coordinating with local police, Homeland Security, and Amtrak security. By 6 a.m., the entire facility was under federal control. Most of the 1,700 detainees had removal orders, missed court appearances, or carried fake documents. Biometric scanners confirmed identities on-site while drones fed live surveillance to tactical teams. Agents also seized burner phones, counterfeit IDs, and encrypted devices linked to smuggling and gang networks across multiple states. ICE clarified, this was not a random sweep. It was a strategic strike targeting one of the most active undocumented migrant corridors in the country. And the response? Overwhelming support. Commuters said they'd felt unsafe for months. It's about time, said one man. Texas Governor Greg Abbott applauded the move, calling it a bold stand for law and order. Nearby mayors praised the federal-state coordination, while lawmakers on Capitol Hill called for more funding and expanded ICE authority. With 1,700 arrests and 0 reports of violence, this wasn't just enforcement, it was a statement.
An ICE spokesperson sent us a statement about this that reads in part, quote, ICE respects the constitutional right of people to peacefully protest. However, assaulting, resisting, impeding, or harassing ICE officers and special agents or interfering in any way as they're executing their official duty is against the law. If any person assaults a federal law enforcement officer, they risk being prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Away from their communities because you're taking workers away from their cities, and they will not be silent.
Meantime, here in San Antonio, ICE detainments continue outside Immigration Court downtown. Today, a Cuban man says his Bolivian wife and 2 children were detained after an immigration hearing.
ICE made one thing clear. This was not guesswork. Agency leadership confirmed that the Texas operation was the result of deep surveillance, layered intel, and biometric tracking conducted over several months. Agents used facial recognition software, rail transit records, and ticket purchase tracking to compile a list of individuals flagged for deportation. Many had skipped asylum hearings, while others were tied to document fraud or transnational crime rings. ICE coordinated with Amtrak and local rail agencies to link aliases to actual ticket holders. Before boots hit the ground, drones had confirmed every target. This wasn't a fishing expedition, said one official. Every person we detained had a legal reason to be on our radar. This marked a major shift in ICE's approach, not just in scale, but in style. ICE is no longer conducting broad sweeps. They're now...
Enforcement raids are initiated across Texas today. We have seen this over the weekend. The Houston DEA, that office sharing these photos today, they say they assisted Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents in enhanced targeted operations in the Houston area. The governor also saying Texas DPS also assisting in these raids. And tonight, Homeland Security spokespersons here in Dallas at the Dallas office confirming raids did happen here in North Texas as well, including in Dallas, Fort Worth, Garland, Irving, and other parts of Collin County as well.
Executing targeted strikes with precision tools. The political impact was immediate. DHS officials called the raid a model for future operations. Governor Abbott labeled it a win for public safety, and lawmakers across the South said It should be the new enforcement playbook nationwide. Local polling following the raid showed rising public approval, even among independents and swing voters. Frustration over overcrowding, loitering, rising crime, and strained services drove many to call for more ICE-led operations. For these communities, this wasn't controversial, it was common sense. Public support wasn't limited to Texas. Southern lawmakers pushed for similar crackdowns in sanctuary cities and high-traffic transit hubs. One representative summed up the local sentiment. This is exactly what Americans expect when laws are broken over and over. Even some national critics of ICE shifted their tone, acknowledging the operation's restraint, focus, and coordination as signs of an evolving strategy. This raid was not a one-time event. It's now the blueprint for what's coming. ICE confirmed that the Texas operation is being used as a template for future missions. High-risk terminals, bus depots, and even rideshare hubs are under review. The biometric data, surveillance footage, and seized communication tools are being used to map trafficking routes and identify repeat offenders. Behind the scenes, ICE's intelligence division is building complete profiles of individuals connected to smuggling rings and document fraud networks. Technology is changing the game. AI-driven screening tools, mobile surveillance units, and real-time license plate scanning allow agents to flag high-risk individuals instantly. ICE calls it the future of immigration control. Fast, tech-driven, and almost impossible to outrun. The Texas raid proved it could be done efficiently and cleanly. State and federal officials quickly capitalized on the momentum. New legislation is already in the works to expand ICE's reach into airports, transit hubs, and critical infrastructure zones. Proposals include faster deportation timelines, deeper data sharing agreements with private companies, tougher penalties for fraud and smuggling. Officials say the 1,700 arrests expose just how deeply the system has been exploited, and now they argue the tide is turning. Polling across battleground states shows a growing appetite for visible immigration enforcement, especially in urban areas far from the southern border. ICE is responding, expanding its mandate and drawing support from both voters and lawmakers. The message is unmistakable. Unlawful migration is no longer just a border issue. It's happening in plain sight. And now ICE has the tools, the tech, and the political will to find it. This isn't just a new tactic. It's a new era in immigration enforcement, and it's only just begun.